Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is up, down, and sideways? We're back on League Unlock. Mark and Eric here with you guys, looking ahead to a little bit of Week 3 action in the LEC. But before we look at the matchups, we got to revisit the picks that we made for Week 2. And I'm noticing a theme of me doing very poorly at these picks. Mark absolutely crushed Week 2, including a 9-1 pick ratio in the LCS, North America's greatest and finest, as Mark can predicting. When TSM wins, Mark wins.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta sell your soul to the vocabulary devil and say the word here a lot of times in a row. You say it more than 100 times.
It's a sacrifice.
Say it more than 100 times in 10 minutes, and you get the 9-1 LCS prediction record.
Well, then I'm gonna absolutely start doing that. Reed is only 3 games behind, so producer Reed doing real well, and we'll pretend mine aren't there. I went for the upsets. I went for G2 and Fnatic both losing in the LEC, and well, that didn't happen, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it did not.
It kind of looked like SK was in it for a time against Fnatic, and Origin almost had the comeback, so there was a fleeting moment where I maybe thought, I'm actually a genius. And then I realized, oh wait,
turned
I'm
around.
not at all.
No.
Not a genius
It's
at all.
okay, though. Hey, 500, that's the bare minimum acceptable ratio.
We're still looking, there's 7 weeks left, so it's low and slow, taking it easy, and Week 3, Day 1 in the LEC. There were a lot of juicy matchups last week. It's not exactly the case heading into this week. I mean, specifically, you look at the bottom 3 and the top 3 teams in Europe. It's hard to pick an upset out of those 3 matches. I was so close to going with Excel over Fnatic, just because Fnatic's, they're looking ahead towards G2. Excel has looked good, but then I realized, Mickey already had his pop-off game, so can't happen. I couldn't do it.
See, you were thinking about Excel. I was thinking all about Misfits and Schalke in that matchup. I was really on the side of thinking, man, I can't really think of 0-5, 0-6 possibility here for Schalke. But at the same time, I realized, wait a minute, you had no faith in the Misfits last week. You got burned by them going 2-0. You gotta make sure you're picking them up for this week, and I roll with the Misfits against Schalke.
And here's why I'm picking Schalke, is because Gilius is out. 2 weeks in. And
it's not Kikis, though. Kikis didn't replace him. It's not the formula.
He's the 3rd replacement. And I will say Gilius is not the sole reason why Schalke struggled in the first 2 weeks. He actually had some decent games. That roster as a whole has had some issues, but bringing in their academy or regional league jungler, who's got a moderate amount of hype, he even looked better, a lot of people thought, than Gilius in the German league last year. So promoting him, new look, fresh face on the roster, I think this is the week Schalke gets their W.
Right, I think you got to have some blame, of course, with Gilius, but that goes with every other member of this Schalke roster.
20% across the board to blame for all.
For sure, but this certainly does seem a lot like a situation of just, it's the role, right? It's the jungle position that does need to have that change here to impact so many other aspects on this team, and there's a lot that needs to be changing here to get these victories.
And the first match there, you had SK versus Mad Lions. Reed is alone on SK. Mad, they could really be 3-1 at this point. Carzzy has looked great. Really, the biggest question mark has been the only returning member in Humanoid.
I've seen some stumbles across the mid-game to late game here from the Mad Lions a couple times here that has cost them in some of these games, made certain advantages too strong for the other squad here. But I have liked more or less what I've seen from this young group here so far to start out this spring split, and I think that, hey, picking up one of these wins against SK, against the rest of this kind of middle tier of the LEC, can help propel them towards that top level.
Most likely upset out of those top 3 games. Anyone? Rogue? Vitality? Excel?
Not happening, my man. I'm rolling through strong here with those top 3 organizations.
I'm a little surprised how big a favorite G2 is over Rogue, because they've looked really good aside from that shellacking they took at the hands of Origin. But G2 are just going to be huge favorites against pretty much anyone that they're matching up against. Not pretty much, anyone that they match up against. Day 2 action over in Europe, and everyone is just going to be waiting till the end of the day for the rivalry in Europe, the G2 versus Fnatic match. That's basically the only reason we play the regular season in Europe, is to see these two teams play each other twice.
Now, I gotta explain my reasoning here, because I was about 95% of the way to putting down that Fnatic Orange as my pick.
They always win in the regular season.
Exactly, but I had to roll through with G2 Esports here, because this one, it's a different G2 Esports coming at Fnatic this time. Different in the sense that it's my boy, Luka the Bazooka Perks, in the mid lane this time, and he is absolutely gonna trash Nemesis in this one. He's gonna trash him.
And we have seen the Nemesis versus Caps matchup last year.
Oh,
Nemesis absolutely held his own, was even winning a lot of these matchups. But yeah, Perks is a different animal in the laning phase. We know that Caps, I'm getting Wonder ahead, I'm getting then Perks ahead in the bottom lane and just helping Jankos out wherever I can. We saw last week Perks absolutely humiliated the opposing mid laners. That being said, Fnatic seems to take their gameplay to another level when they match up against G2. They want to prove, and they don't want to be second fiddle, because they have been for a full year plus now, with G2 completely dominating, and Fnatic has been a world-class team. They just haven't even been the best team in their region.
I think that when the rematch comes around, I think Nemesis will have learned enough, picked up enough things, what it's like to face off against the difference of Perks to Caps in the mid lane here. But right now, in this first matchup, I'm all on G2 for this one. It's going to be the Samurai squad with the victory.
The biggest question mark for me is still Selfmade, of course, because in the regular season and some of the series last year, Broxa had his best games of the year against G2, which, if that's the recipe for success against them, well, then Selfmade has his work cut out for him. Some of the other matches, again, Origin and Rogue versus Mad and Misfits. None of us apparently see any upsets happening there.
No, I'm rolling through with all the favorite squads on this one. I'm trying to keep that record high here, man. I got to keep these predictions rolling through. I can't be risking
playing it safe. Yeah, I respect that. I respect that. I'm not in desperation mode yet, where I got to pick 5 upsets every week.
Although I will say, I go in against here on the day, as I already was not picking Schalke on the first day of matches, not picking them here for the second day.
That's an 0-6,
That's
boys.
an 0-6 record. That is nothing personal to the Schalke squad. I want to reiterate that one
personal.
here. Oh, hey, there are some personal vendettas I've got against some of these squads and players, but Schalke, you're not one of them. You're just in that unfortunate situation of not having any faith from me and picking up a victory.
And you saw that other Excel versus Vitality match. Again, you have them 0-6 as well, so a couple of 0-6 squads.
Hey, I'm just waiting for that big-time matchup between Schalke and Vitality.
If they don't make a match of the week teaser as kind of a meme, if they're both winless,
Just advertise it as an LCS matchup.
yeah, bring LCS casters to hype it up and everything. But I got Vitality getting their win this week alongside Schalke in that XL matchup. They can't play any worse than they played in week 2.
I mean,
and they had a tough schedule. They had Rogue in G2. Things get a lot easier this week for them.
For sure.
And same with Origin. They've had a tough schedule. It gets much easier. Vitality, they have the talent on this roster to be much better than they were. Just hold on until Malitza comes in, because I think he is going to be a big improvement over Satan.
I think that is actually something that you can, silver linings here for the Vitality faithful, is that, yes, I feel like this squad has a lot of potential, and they are showing the signs of improvement that you want to see week from week, game to game.
They need to show improvements this week.
Maybe not last week, but sure. I have been seeing enough from them that I feel like, yes, there's something to build off of here, and just be a little bit patient and hopefully see those flowers bloom.
It's just, I mean, Karzi in the bot lane, Cabochard in the top lane, and Skeens, who is one of the best France junglers. They should be better. They should be better, and I expect them to get better in week 3, but that is all the time today for League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys as always. We'll catch you on the Flippity Flop.